I've been a longtime watcher of your channel. Do you know anything about like DS Max companies?
No idea. What is that? DS Max?
Oh my gosh. So it's a blend between like a crypto scam and an MLM. It's really worth looking into. I used to work for one even. It's these companies where I don't know how to even explain it. It's like the ones that sell like the Spectrum, the AT&T, those like business to business, like outside marketing schemes. It's super interesting.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you call it D like D as in David, S as in Sam, Max?
Dash Max, yeah.
DS.
There's this really interesting. It's called like the Death Circle, I think, on YouTube. They go and they
Wow, the
interview a
good
lot of these people
names.
that have been
Oh
victims.
no 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 no! Isn't this the direct selling thing? Like the direct sales?
Yeah, and like my understanding is the like umbrella term for those companies is DS Max.
DS Maximum. Okay.
And but it's like super interesting and like how like they prey on these people by like the allure of
It's
like
the slave circle, is what you're talking about. Yeah, we actually talked to the guy. No, we do know about this, and we talked to. I just didn't recognize the name. We talked to the creator of that documentary, didn't we, Amish? The
really?
the the slave circle doc. I think
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talked
yeah,
to
we
that
had him
guy.
on the show. Can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
me, by
yeah.
the way? I don't think she can hear me. But yeah, we had the guy on the show. Yo, that guy was cool, man. That was a good documentary too.
Yeah, I was watching like a lot of it and I must have just like missed the interview. Like what did you guys think of it?
He's
No,
righteous.
it's
He seems like a great guy.
yeah, dude. Listen. I know a guy who got sucked into the like door to door sales life,
Oh my
and
god.
it's he wasted a lot of time.
Yeah,
It's so
it
sad because you don't know who to get mad at. It goes all the way to the top. And like even LuLaRoe, the owners, their parents were in Amway. So when they're attacking him, he goes, "What do you mean it's not right what I'm doing? My daddy was in Amway and we lived and we ate food and I grew up and I'm a
Yeah, right.
American and you how
Exactly.
dare you?"
Exactly, Dad.
So
yeah,
Exactly.
and
It's
it's like
impossible.
and like as someone that like has been a part of that, it's like how long do I stay mad at myself kind of a thing.
Wait, who's been a part of
forgive
what?
yourself immediately. Forgive
Um
yourself
I
immediately.
yeah, I've been in one for like a year and a half or like I
MLM or
was
DS Max?
for a DS Max company.
Wow. So
Oh
this
my
is kind of like a
god.
scam rehab right
This
now.
is Scam Rehab right now.
Okay.
Wyatt. Oh, I love it. Wyatt just started taking notes. So good. Thank you so much for coming on, by the way. This is great.
Wait, what's your experience? So how did you get involved in DS Max?
Yeah, tell us
Um,
about it.
Basically, I like it was just on Indeed. Like I just applied to it like a normal job and it, said entry level office position. And then I go in and it looks like an actual office, it's in the downtown area, so it's like very alluring. And
Okay.
then they hire me on the spot and I get flattered and then they tell me, I'm gonna go into Walmart and sell Spectrum, for 8 hours a day.
What was the build up to you're hired? Were they like, well, we looked at 5,000 applicants today, but we
Literally.
said we need her? Like,
Yeah, they need the girl with zero experience in
Yeah, that's
sales
how
or
they always do it.
there's so
right. And
manipulative.
they did like, first interview and then, oh, why don't you just stay around for the second interview right away? And then, oh, actually, I'm gonna just do your second interview. And then, oh, so you have a car, right? And like, okay. So,
Just rope you right in.
They
right.
literally put like a thing on your finger. They go, "Oh, you do have a pulse. Okay, great. You're hired."
That's it.
Literally, like earlier
Calling the
that day,
pulse.
I had an interview to be like a pizza delivery driver, and I didn't get the job, but I got this like,
Aw.
supposedly fancy office position. It was a little bit ridiculous.
Can you say that title again? What's the title they were giving you?
It was, oh my gosh. So there were a lot of different ones used because I actually turned out, I switched to the HR position. So now then I became like the person managing all the new hires. So the job,
Oh.
so they used a lot of different names for like depending on the like the listing. I believe the one I applied for was like office assistant
Oh, okay.
or the customer service representative.
Mm-hmm.
It was not related to what I ended up doing.
I think they do business development a lot because they're like you're in sales is business development. So they go, hey, you can be a business development manager
Yeah,
tomorrow.
they find some title for you that's like totally BS. Yeah, I know.
Such legit titles, dude. Or do you want to be a delivery? Do you want to do deliveries?
Do you want to
Do you want to
do
be?
you want to do DiGiorno or do you want to do business
Exactly.
sales consultant?
Oh,
They
it
throw
turns
a
out it's
consultant
not
in there.
delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
And it turns out it's not delivery, it's actually DiGiorno. Like, you're okay with that, right? um, and then after a few months, I ended up actually switching to be like the person at the front desk of this company. And so there I got to learn a lot from like the managers and like what like absolute crazy things that they were doing, like stealing from like employees and just like they were blatantly telling me to like mislead people. And it
Wait,
was a
with
little
what? What do you mean mislead people? What do you mean by that?
so like when I would cold call people to try to get them to come in for the interview, I was that person. And so I'd call them and then basically be like, hey, so, you know, you have a lot of restaurant experience. I have a lot of restaurant experience. You know, you would be great in sales because I'm great in sales.
Wait, and you
And
never worked at a restaurant?
okay, for that instance, like I had, but really it was like just relate to them on any level and tell them how much that they would be good in this position, you
Wow, this
know?
is the
And then
brainwash induction.
You're a Pisces. I'm a Pisces.
Yeah,
You're
you
a
exactly.
find
girl. I'm a
something.
girl. Yeah. You
Yeah,
do
yeah.
something.
If you're
Do
a
you
guy,
feel
they'd be
bad?
telling you
So do you
like,
have a guilt about that bringing people in?
"Oh,
Absolutely.
you're recruited."
The machine.
Yeah,
Because it's
so they
go
had
ahead.
me recruit for a few different offices, but the main office that I worked for was like it was on like the other office's like upline basically because they you know she got a cut of the other office's profits. So it was like you had to kind of already be in it for a certain number of years, like have a certain number of people underneath you in order to
Gee,
like the
that's the
managers were
downline.
the ones like in the true like LuLaRoe kind of pyramid scheme setup, and everyone else just was like desperate to become them.
Wow. So it is like a little brainwash scheme you got caught up in. And can you just remind us maybe, but how old were you and how old were these teachers?
Yeah, I think I was 19 when I started and
Oh my
21
God.
when I left.
Okay.
And then my manager was 30, but she had been in the business for 10 years. And so, and she was also one of the oldest people there. Like, they told me to be very wary of hiring people that looked over 25.
That's
And
so funny. That's so funny.
Wow.
We want
yeah,
people young, dumb, and naive. We don't want anyone asking questions.
Yeah.
literally. And then, like, it was all about image too. Like, you know, one of like my final straws there, like when I was like actively looking for other work, was she came up to me and she said, "Hey, like, you know, like we don't need to interview any more ghetto fab people." And
What?
so just blatant,
Wait.
Ghetto
yeah,
fab.
because it was
What is
all
it
about
called? It's
image. And she was like, "Yeah,
I've
like,
never heard that term before.
it's basically a type of like it's like a racial ish slur, but
yeah,
you're what is it called? It's signaling or something. There's like a word
it's
for it.
like racism and classism kind of together, just saying like, hey, like, the only like the people of color that like can like kind of fit like white stereotypes are
Oh
okay."
wow! It's basically only really white black people. It's a code word. It's
Yeah,
code for only really white black people. We're not
right.
hiring anyone black
What
unless
is
it's like
DS Max doing over there, dude?
Exactly. Like it was insane.
Yeah.
And then it turns out two of the other managers were like stealing from employees just blatantly because you have to pay back the money that you took, which is, you know, your check at the end of the week.
You have to
For
pay it
like
back?
yeah, if you don't make enough hourly, or if you don't make enough commission to pay you a good enough hourly, the company will pay you that like bare minimum hourly.
Oh,
But
the
whatever they're
draw.
not
It's called draw. Yeah, you gotta
yeah,
pay back.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah. I know about
you're
that.
oh
familiar.
my god, what a mess.
And so yeah, it's like this allure of like hey, like, we'll for sure pay you, but like you have to pay us back because you're a liability. And
Wow.
yeah, it
This
was
is
a
where
lot.
crime doesn't pay.
Exactly. And then they, told me, "Hey, like go find more people for us." And then seeing so I would do all like the new hire paperwork for them. And I would say so it was a team of like it ranged between like 15 to 25 people that were like consistently in the office. I
Wow.
would put in new hire paperwork for about a dozen people a week. Maybe one or two would stay more than a week.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
Yeah.
Well, because
system of
people.
finding other psychos, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's like high turnover. You got to find the people who are basically willing to suffer.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm there fully knowing that they're going to suffer and just being like, "Hey, like this is my job. Like I really want you to come in cuz I have to
But
meet
then
my."
you're suffering too. It's like it's just a system of suffering. Because you're not
Exactly.
doing great, they're
Yeah.
not doing great. Nobody's doing that great in these systems except for the people
But
at
it
the
is a
tippity top.
it is like a training system for sociopaths though. Like what the older sociopath always does is they go, I'll never forget my mentor, Bob Bryan. He picked me up in a thing, he flipped me around, put me in my first pyramid scheme, got my first downline. I never would have known anything. Like, and then now he owns his own successful one. But it's almost like you get training with other people. This is a system of finding psychos, and because it's like, oh, he's 21 and he knows all the 21-year-olds, so he knows all the other idiots. So just turn him into a
Exactly.
little machine for us and brain. It's like a brainwashing system.
Yeah, and then they tell you, you also have to hang out outside of work. Like these are your best friends. And then they said like so you have to hang out like one time per week with your quote unquote like team. And the saying was you don't have to hang out or you don't have it's not required to hang out outside of work, but management isn't required either.
Oh, so
Like
basically, if I show up at the Steak and Shake, you better show up too.
yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
Like they're basically saying
You're
like your
not
manager's not getting
required,
paid
but we're
either.
family. And if you don't
Yes.
show up, you're letting your family down. You know what? The DS Max thing is a weird like culty vibe for sure.
What's the sufferings they gave you? You know, like in the vow. Remember he did the. We were talking about this like 2 weeks ago. In the vow, Keith Raniere, he was getting the cult was called Nexium, and Keith Raniere would make them do these weird little text message games, and eventually the text message game was like have sex with Keith Raniere or whatever. But like, what kind of weird,
Still can't
like,
believe
what kind
that.
of stuff were they doing to kind of mess with you? Because I feel like everyone has these like shame things. Like they have a
Yeah.
point where they make you do something and they're like, that was to shame you and to make you suffer and realize to never cross me or, like they have these weird petty things like that.
I almost got fired when I'm in Wisconsin and I had to go to St. Louis for a business trip, where they don't pay you any access and then you have to sleep on, a stranger's couch for a week. And I
Wow.
had sales in a few days and my boss calls me one morning and she goes, "Hey, just so you know, if you don't make a sale today, we're going to have to let you go."
While
I
you were on
mean,
the guy's this couch?
yeah, and also, I wasn't even at that place, I wasn't even on a couch. There was a separate stranger staying on the couch, and I got to stay on the floor in front of the couch.
Oh my God. Was it a guy or girl?
A guy. It
How
was
old?
weird. Maybe like 25?
And you're 20 and you're sleeping on the floor and he's on the couch.
Yeah,
Weird. Why doesn't he sleep on the floor? What a jerk. Come on, man. Have some
oh,
morality.
Have some class.
that wasn't my
Jeez.
intention. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was such a mess. And then it's sold as like you have the opportunity to, go on this business trip when
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah,
like
yeah. It's like horrible. You have
That's
the
yeah.
opportunity
terrible.
to sleep on the floor next to a couch,
But
and
was
then
there any benefit?
No, there was
Like,
no
like,
like
was it just a pure suffering trip? Was it just like a little, like, that's what I always find in these like little cult things. They make little rigamaroos. They make a little, oh, that was all a game to see your loyalty. Like, it's a silly thing. And like, like, there's nothing came out of this. Like, you had to make a sale over there. Were they telling you to go to this conference, do a sale, or was it just, you have been told, go ahead and sleep on the couch? If
Yeah,
the couch is taken, sleep on the floor.
it was go sell internet in Walmart, and then go sleep on some guy's floor or couch.
Right.
And It was bad. And then there was like no increase like sale. And what they really do is they sell like the allure of like validation. Like, oh hey, we believe in you. No one else would hire you as like an entry level person.
Yeah, because
And it's alluring. Like it sounds great,
Yeah, the
you know.
validation,
the
all of that.
validation,
It's very interesting. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm glad you're out of it. What do you do
so
now?
glad.
So now I'm like a staff writer at like a mortgage like company. It at yeah, and what's weird is like at the end of the day, and like what also kind of helps the guilt thing is that like I wouldn't have my current job like that I love if I didn't work for that company. If I didn't prey on, like those entry level people that were just like so desperate.
Why
Like
wouldn't you have your
the
current
suffering,
job?
you learn in the suffering. You learn these skills a little bit.
Yeah, like for me, like for just like as a resume builder, like because I'm not working an entry level position,
Yeah.
and like that was technically because they needed like office, 1 year of office experience, and I was like, I do technically have that, but I don't want to talk about it,
Look, 1 year of sociopath training is 10 years of corporate politics training. It's like you're getting
Literally,
fat. That's you went to black belt, like you went to the highest academy of psychos.
Yeah, yeah, that's
lit-
very
You,
true.
you you did 2 years there, so you came out with some skills. You came out and you dominated the market for a bit, didn't you? You're just coming in
yeah,
hard with it on
right.
them.
And so at the end of the day, like, yeah, I feel guilty because I'm like, I'm in a good position, but like, what about
Oh
those,
my
10
god.
people that didn't make it to the end of the week every week for a year and a half?
Yeah, you just took their money, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I
You got
mean,
a little shark
I guess
training. Got a
I
little
did
shark
it.
training. But did you get a commission though? Were you on
No,
commission, or were they keeping you at a secret low level, super low level, where you're like, wow, I get to make you sales, and like you don't even get a commission on it? How's the
they gave
money?
me $10 an hour and occasionally bought me lunch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad. And then
Oh.
it was like I just wasn't done for the day until I had, X interviews tomorrow.
Oh my god.
That's
Can I
so
okay, can I
funny.
ask, not to be rude, but because I always find this with young people. I meet so many. They're 19, they're 20. I'm like, and they're like living by themselves in a apartment where half the apartments are like crack houses, and you're living in this apartment by yourself. Where are your parents? And they're like, wow, they're divorced. He doesn't talk to me. And then I've never seen my dad. And then my mom was like, told me I should leave because I didn't do whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying it's that bad, but like, what was it? A lot of like young. How young does it go? Does it go down to like 15 or 16? And how bad was the home situation of the kids that you were with there with?
Yeah, so we required everyone to be 18, but I would say at least like once a day that I had to make calls. I would call someone and it turns out that they weren't 18, or they'd show up to the interview and they weren't 18. So it was, right at the 18 mark that like college kids were very common. And
So you went
I
under.
would
Did you go underage on it? You go underage? You go
Stop,
16?
Amish. Stop.
No, I'm just wondering what we can ask.
No, there were like a handful of time. Like I figured out, like a lot of the high school kids that I would like end up calling. One of like the main things that like really called them out, or they were the only kids that go, yeah, oh yeah, I'm 17, and I go, okay, end of conversation. Sorry.
Okay, good, good. Yeah.
um, but yeah, so we did require them to be 18, but it was right at the cusp, like 2 to 5 years were what I was trained like job experience wise to look for.
Did
And
any
then
manage? Sorry, good.
oh, sorry, you go for it.
Just quick jump in. Did any manager ever say we can't go under 18, but if you get a 17-year-old, just sign it up? Did anyone do that? Like, did any of the managers just tell you to like, look, that's on the papers, but if they're 15, listen, I signed up 5 15-year-olds last week.
Weirdly,
Close it.
no, and it was only because of the oversight of the clients, quote unquote clients, like the internet companies that we worked with, because we had to submit their information, so it couldn't be under like the book.
Yeah,
But
they would if they could, for sure. Maybe
They
they were
would.
like, maybe they're like, look, you're 17 now. Come back in 3 months.
what we were supposed to do though is we were supposed to tell people how to pass their drug tests.
What? Tell me how to pass their drug test. Like cheat or pass? Wait,
Cheat.
was this written on paper, or did someone just pull you aside and say, hey, we're doing a secret meeting?
What do you mean? What do you mean cheat on their drug test? That's insane. Wait. Go back to
Yeah.
that.
So our manager would hold like meetings with the people that had already been like quote unquote like promoted, like not in jeopardy every single week of their job of getting fired. And she would say, "Hey, like your guys, like the people on like quote unquote like your team, like just like a pyramid scheme, like you need to make sure that they're passing their drug tests. Like I can't tell them how to pass, but you guys need to, and because otherwise it's a missed opportunity." And
Missed opportunity.
So you basically say, hey, go to the corner store, get some fake pee.
Yeah.
Yes. Literally.
Or I know a guy named Steve. He's on the
Dude,
street.
you can't do that.
Yeah,
Wow.
literally. Because otherwise, like they might be selling really well and you might have a really good opportunity there. But, if you don't tell them how to pass their drug test, it's going to be a missed opportunity.
Did they give you a guide? Did they say go see
So
Steve?
what? They're
on the
doing
corner of
heroin. Give them the fake pee, dude.
Give him the fake pee. Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
Missed opportunity. So they had a guy. Did they have a guy? Like, where did this fake pee come from? Like, did they have? They're like, go to this street. Here's.
Oh, you can get
This
it
is
at like
insane.
any smoke shop, but we were told like, hey, recommend fake pee over the like
Did you have
detox
an
drinks.
wait over the what?
Over like there's like a detox drink or something. Like you can go buy like.
Oh, they said
I-
detox drinks don't work. If you really want to cheat your drug test, get the fake pee.
Get the fake pee.
Literally, yeah.
Wow. So
And-
you
and
guys
they
are
give
like
you a lead. That's great.
affiliate providers of fake piss.
Yeah.
100%. We should have gotten
Taking a cut on that.
I would have made more money. And then it's all for them to,
I think you just may have admitted to a federal crime.
Oh, I mean. So.
No, you are
I
forgiven.
never had
It's
anyone
not.
on my
Dude, she's
team.
19.
No, I'm not. Oh, no. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure it is illegal to cheat a federal drug test. I don't.
Oh, it's not federal. Also, I never had anyone on my team. So I never participated in that. But it was very candid. It was my
That
manager's.
is insane. That is definitely not
Yeah.
legal to teach your employees how to fake drug test.
100% no.
Because
And,
like
like-
going up to people and like, hey, we've tried several brands. We've tried to see what works. Don't get the detox. It doesn't work. Get the fake piss, and I'll give you. You know what? Promo code. Use promo code DS Max at checkout.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I
That's-
knew my boss was getting sued by a few different people because the police would come in and then she wouldn't talk about it, or I'd be served papers and have to leave them on her desk. And
So the cops would catch you and be like, guys, stop with the fake piss thing, guys. We know it's
Not
fake
yet,
piss.
no. I
Who's telling the
tried to
kids?
look up, like how do I kind of like report this kind of a thing? Because like I mean I'm like leaving off the table like a lot of like the legal stuff that I would hear, and I'm like, how do I like report like just like race discrimination from like her comments before, and like there's no outlet for it.
Yeah, the cops are bought off, you think, allegedly?
And well, like the Better Business Bureau is more for like customers, and so like I can't
Right.
really go to them and be like, hey, this is going on. But I like tried to look into it because like I feel guilty, and like even at the time, like no matter how brainwashed I was.
What was the
like,
company specifically called?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I want to say it publicly.
Say it. Good.
You haven't shown your face.
I don't want to get like
Your name's
sued,
not
but-
no, but your name's
Yeah,
not public.
all we have is Queen Elizabeth 420. Did she say her name? You didn't say your name. Don't worry about it.
No,
It's like
I
an
didn't.
anonymous
My
voice.
name is also not Elizabeth, so I guess
Good.
that helps.
Yeah.
But it was
There we go.
Rococo Inc.
Rococo Inc. Hey.
Rococo Inc.
ROCOCO.
ROCOCO.
Rococo, dude. We're getting these live. This is great.
It's a banger.
We gotta go
Yeah,
live.
I mean,
you gotta
like-
go live. The magic comes in. Rococo. What a
Yeah.
what a great scam name. Rococo.
And like a lot of people come in thinking it's the pizza place,
Reminds
but
me of Rubat. Rococo, driving sales, catalyzing careers, building brands, established in 2009. MKE, we are Rococo Coco. And then we see here. This
Why is this guy on his knees? What's he? Oh, they're getting married, maybe.
yeah,
That's
like
nice.
I'm because I'm not playing the stream, so I'm not sure. Like I paused it just.
Oh,
maybe-
sorry. We're on their Instagram page. And we're
Oh,
just going
okay.
through on
So,
Rococo
so
Inc.
basically, you're saying these guys were basically racist in their hiring.
Yeah, so it comes from the manager, but everyone else further down, because all of the other people do the second interviews, they were definitely like ageist and like had the opportunity to be other things, but that wasn't monitored. It was just the manager that
Yeah.
was like, hey, you know, first interviews, this is what we need, this is the bottom line kind of a thing, which is, you know, gross and disgusting.
Yeah, faking the drug test is bad. Is like
Faking the
like
drug
it's
test
so
is
bad.
definitely
It's so bad already.
probably illegal. I hate to keep going
Probably.
over that, but that's like, you know,
Yeah, no, it was
FBI
huge.
kind of thing.
And like, I'm glad I was never put in that position because I don't know what I would do. I probably would say, you know, like, this is how you do it to, you know, someone that would be on my team. Thank goodness I
Steven,
wasn't
she's
put in
Queen
that.
19.
Elizabeth!
She's 19, dude. She's man,
Yeah.
I
nobody.
get it.
And look, I don't want to like. How were things at home for you? Like, was it? Did your parents not say like, "Hey, where have you been? Like, what are you doing? Where's you know?"
I wasn't living at home because I was at college.
She's living below a couch, Amish. She's
Yeah, I
sleeping on
was
a
in
floor.
a
That was only 1
basement
week.
for like $300 a month. So,
Wow.
Loco.
yeah, it was
Right.
bad.
So you just went up to university, and these guys are there. They're preying on university kids. Did they open in the university? Like they on campus, they have the little signs. Hey
So
guys, join Rococo. Make some money on the side.
the manager reached out to me to look at like job fairs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I worked there like over COVID, so it wasn't like they were all digital, and then she kind of like backed out. But she was 100% looking into, you know, hey, like, can we do some like diversity? There was like a diversity fair in our area, and
Okay.
and so she's like, oh yeah, let's
Well,
go to
that's
the
nice.
diversity. Yeah,
I love how they have the
And they're-
diversity.
it was like that
Hey, guys.
contradicts a lot of what you said.
We believe in diversity here, okay? We
Yeah.
believe that we could steal money from any race, religion, doesn't matter. We bring them in. That's nice.
All that matters is their age and that they're young and vulnerable.
Yeah, if they're young and vulnerable, that seems to be the key here is like young, vulnerable, and then yeah, and it's all just about getting money. Like, was anything? This seems like a place that's ripe
All
for
about
someone
the money,
being
dude.
sexually inappropriate. Anyone? Was there anything like that? Was there anything weird? Because a lot of these cults do stuff like that too.
I know, actually, but they're really
After the money.
office relationships, but not like no one was like creepy. But there was this thing of like that was big in the office of like playing morning games, and it was 100% just like a cult. Like everyone would be like yelling, like, you know, pat each other on the back if they did good yesterday, and
And let me guess, not paid for morning games. Eh? That's like,
Oh,
hey,
no.
we're doing that for you.
Of course not. They're doing it for you, and their managers are doing it. So
if you're a leader, like you're expected to like, you know, participate, come in early, unpaid.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. LuLaRoe too. They had to go to the convention. So cheap in LuLaRoe, the Lula Rich documentary. They're like, they don't pay them to go to the convention.
no, you
And
Yeah.
just
pay.
do the
You
yeah.
pay.
They have to pay them the
You're
top sales
welcome.
reps. That's yeah. You're welcome.
When
Wow.
I
It
was
should be
watching
what you want to do.
the documentary, I was like, oh, this is the same thing, basically. There is a big convention, but over COVID it got canceled. But I forget what it's called. But
Headliner.
it was an honor to, you know, to be invited, which means that they bought a ticket.
Wow, they always get celebrities, eh? And they got country singer headlining.
Wow.
Yeah, to my
Is that a
knowledge,
big name?
at the DS Max one, there isn't like a. I feel like I would have heard if there was like big celebrity names attached, and there wasn't. But it's still the same thing, same basis.
This is a
You're saying
weird-
country? You're saying that's not a country star? Chad, what was it? Chad Gill? They had that guy. Like that's not. They said he's a headliner, and they said
It
whatever.
was-
But it was like a local singer, maybe.
Yeah, logo
Like,
singer.
And that's
Kelly
nice.
Clarkson and someone else. I forget who they mentioned.
Well, this sounds like a fascinating company here. Sounds like it was weird time for you in your life, and I'm happy to hear you're in a better place.
I'm a scammer. I'm a scammer. Gonna rip you off, take you down.